nobody can ever think, I don't care who you are, I don't care if you were raised in Parson Cross or if you're Stephen Hawkins, nobody can ever say that they know enough, because there's so much information out there. And where we're coming from as a group of peoples, we've got a lot of information to analyse, absorb, learn how to throw out the dross and take forward the stuff that makes you feel good. And if you're having to put certain firewalls up at certain information, it's not the right information. Everybody needs to know themselves, you know. Because once you know where you're from, you can plot where you're going to.
Connect all the dots.
Yeah, and to be around people who think like you. You know, build your life around people who are being progressive. You know, growing up in Parson Cross, you know, I was amongst any number of thieves and robbers and sexual offenders and drug dealers and whatever else. But what held me in line was the thought of having to face my dad with the police at the door. Because I don't want people to be casting aspersions about things that they don't understand. You know? And so some of the things that I could talk about my life experience from being a child to you, to Pete, you understand, boom. That's where I want to have the conversation. Because that's another thing. I mean, you know, for like people who are like experiencing racism in work, and sometimes it's something that's beyond something that they can manage themselves. Well, you have to realise that when you start to talk about these things outside of work, is that you're going through a re-traumatising. The initial thing was trauma then you're re-traumatising by telling a story.
People, you're now watching the Daily Devotion Podcast, the space where we connect and engage with creatives from various industries to share insights on their journey thus far. I love your humility towards, you know, life in itself. You know, a very, very, very wise man.
Thank you.
And I give thanks because obviously, as a man who's growing up now, I need depictions of people that are impactful, that are still on a quest, as we're saying, it's a journey, and that want to be the change. As like P, myself, your sons, all the people outside further afield, men or women, you know, who are trying to be impactful. It's so useful, it's so rich to have people like yourself to share that with us.
But it's a two-way thing as well, isn't it? You know, because I can talk all day, you know that. If
You definitely can. I said last take about 2 days ago. No, listen.
But if nobody's listening or if it doesn't resonate with anybody, then what? But you know, what encourages me is people like you. I know what you've been doing here, you know, with your podcast and how long you've been talking about it. I mean, this setup it's incredible. I know what you were talking about doing down at Sadaka as well, but I know that wasn't quite the right ambiance here, and that's fine. But also the stuff that you're doing with the young people talents nights that you do, which you need to get back onto as well.
Yeah.
Right?
It is coming back as well. Star Bars is in the water still.
So I'm encouraged by young people like you, and even more so by you, Kira, Reese, who called me Uncle Bob. you know what I mean? We don't share blood, but we share spirit.
Yes, true.
You know what I mean? You don't have to call me anything, you know, but you give me that mark of respect. And so it's a two-way thing, and you're right, it's always a journey, you know. Nobody can ever think, I don't care who you are, I don't care if you were raised in Parson Cross or if you're Stephen Hawkins, nobody can ever say that they know enough, because there's so much information out there. And where we're coming from as a group of peoples, we've got a lot of information to analyse, absorb, learn how to throw out the dross and take forward the stuff that makes you feel good. And if you're having to put certain firewalls up at certain information, it's not the right information. You know, because we know that some of us, we have to subvert our experience of racism to try and navigate the world. And that's okay to a degree, but no, eventually it could have a serious impact on you, on your mental health. You know, I've never believed these Eurocentric stories about Africa and the Caribbean. You know, I know there's poverty there. Yeah, of course, there's poverty there. There's people down there who are struggling with life, same as in the Caribbean. But you know what? It's same in Sheffield and London and New York and Paris and Cologne, Amsterdam. You know, they're downtrodden people and poor people everywhere. But that's also a mark of capitalism as well. And so to keep, you know, for them to keep feeding this image, you know, this dominant image about certain parts of Africa, you know, it's, we just got to learn to broaden our horizons. And if we're going to visit Africa,
Beautiful.
you know, forget Egypt. Well, no, seriously. The Sinai side. Forget the Sinai side of Egypt. Forget Morocco. Forget Tunisia. Forget Algeria. Because there's Congo, there's Cameroon, there's Ghana, there's Gambia, Sierra Leone.
Zim,
you know,
Tanzania.
Learn why Gambia. Like if this is Senegal, that's Gambia. Learn why that is, because that ain't no natural country line. Because actually all that region, whether it's Nigeria, from Nigeria down to Congo, is all one region. They all speak a multitude of the same languages. You know, there's several languages that are spoken there. You know, Mandinka, Twi, whatever. Yeah, they speak them languages because they were never them borders. They're all one peoples. Okay, they bring different things to the table as well. But, you know, this thing about being Nigerian and Congolese and Jamaican, some of us even think we're English. We need to have that conversation and see if we can get some reason and rationale on the table. Something for us to consider. I'm not saying like, you know, you have to disregard anything that you think you are, but just know that there are some things we are and some things we aren't.
I want to further this conversation, and I know we spoke about it over lockdown and before the Euros. I want us to start like a radio show or some sort of space where we can get people to call in, ask questions, reason, providing that the questions are obviously, you know, appropriate.
Yeah.
They will be appropriately answered. Because these are the conversations that we need to be having. That's why I need everybody to engage with it, because then we know what to do next. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
With all of that, we always do this as part of the show, final segment of the show. With all of your knowledge, your expertise, your, you know, shortcomings, your achievements, you know, everything, what would you say to a young person who's coming up now? Advice to a younger self, or either like a younger self, if it's to be more profound, or just in general, the youth of today who are coming up?
Well, on the original learning lodges, the original universities in Africa, above the door was know thyself. Everybody needs to know themselves, you know. Because once you know where you're from, you can plot where you're going to.
Connect all the dots.
Yeah, and to be around people who think like you. You know, build your life around people who are being progressive. You know, growing up in Parson Cross, you know, I was amongst any number of thieves and robbers and sexual offenders and drug dealers and whatever else. But what held me in line was the thought of having to face my dad with the police at the door. that won't ever happen to me. Well, it did happen once, I had a fight.
This scrum.
We was okay with that. But, you know, but yeah, you know, learn to talk to people who look like you. Share your experiences of your life. Even if you're only 16, you still got a life experience. There'll still be some things that have gone fantastic in your life, and there'll be other things that haven't been so fantastic. But once you have an experience, you can't erase it. It's there. It's going to be part of you and part of your makeup. So, you know, learn to talk to others. That's what we're designed to do. I'm not a religious person, you know. I don't believe that I was made by God. I might be, but that's what I believe at the moment. But whatever made us to communicate. You know, we're social beings. We're not designed to spend our lives on our own, in our own little space. We're designed to be amongst others. And the first thing that we do, whether this is something that we've learned or whether it's something innate, we have a natural propensity to want to be with people who look like us. Some of us fight that, but it is a fight. It's a big fight internally. So, you know, get together, you know, with people who think and look like you. Because there are some things that I will talk about my life and my experience.
Only with people who...
I won't talk about some of those things with people who don't look like me.
Yeah, you can't identify.
Because I don't want people to be casting aspersions about things that they don't understand. You know? And so some of the things that I could talk about my life experience from being a child to you, to Pete, you understand. Boom. That's where I want to have the conversation. Because that's another thing. I mean, you know, for like people who are like experiencing racism in work, and sometimes it's something that's beyond something that they can manage themselves. Well, you have to realize that when you start to talk about these things outside of work, is that you're going through a re-traumatizing. The initial thing was trauma, then you're re-traumatizing by telling a story. Now, I don't want to tell that story or that experience to a blank face, because then that's another trauma. That's a triple trauma now. Yeah? If I have that conversation with you, you can resonate with that straight away. You know, you might not have experienced it, but you resonate with it, because that's how we are connected. You know, not through racism, but spiritually, we're connected. You know, and I think it's just remembering some of that. It's time to have that conversation, because you could be a complete stranger to me, but for what I think I know, you're spiritually connected to me. And if I start a conversation with you, you would understand. I've done that with complete strangers of people like me, and we've talked forever. You know, a nice two-way conversation, because it resonates. But the biggest thing, talk. Don't be afraid to tell someone that you're afraid of something, or your mood's low, or you feel vulnerable, or you know, you feel like you're losing control of a situation, because there are many situations in life where you're not supposed to control it. So stop fighting it. Accept that that's what the situation is.
Where can we find you? Like on socials, obviously.
Oh, well,
it's gonna have to be a part 2 of this, because why? Yeah, because there's still all your other endeavours that you're doing as well.
Well, I'm on Instagram. I came off Facebook because I couldn't cope with the keyboard warriors.
Okay.
So I came off Facebook a few years ago, but on Instagram, I'm Ski DJ on Instagram.
Spelled out.
DEESKIJAY, Ski DJ. Yeah. That's for my little music show. I've also got Chef THP, Trelawney Hot Pots. That's my little mobile food business. And I've also got a Chef Bob. I don't know why I've got 3, but I started with Chef Bob, SHEFF Bob. That was a bit of a Brooks idea, Chef Bob, SHEFF. So yeah, on Insta mainly.
Give time.
Or an email, if people want an email.
Why? Go on, no. Yeah. You say email, you know.
Robert.Cotterill, COTTERELL, @ Sadaka, SADACCA, www.cotterill.co.uk.
Manners.
Bless.
Thanks.
Yeah, man. Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you so much for just being able to share your wealth, as I said, of experiences, of life, you know, just everything. Like, it's been like top tier still. This is what we're bringing now. Top tier material. Everyone that's been on has been top tier, but I think we do need to have critical conversations, thought-provoking conversations, you know. So, like I said, please engage with us. And type P on cam, and type Yannick in the back. Salute.
Bless.